been talking about thunder. Because if you go to this story, which is published by myjoyonline.com, it was published on the 19th of April 2023, and it says, prepare for thunderstorms and rain. Ghana Meteo Agency. The story says that residents in southern parts of the country have been warned to prepare for heavy rains, thunderstorms, and strong winds on Tuesday, April 19, 2023. Now, the Ghana Meteo Agency has reported that a rainstorm, which was sighted in neighboring Togo, is currently moving into Ghana, resulting in rainfall of varying intensities along the coast. Now, the agency statement says, quote, rain of varying intensity with thunder and occasional strong winds are expected, and that towns in the Volta region, such as Aplao, Denu, Agbozuma, Joja, Katihu, Keta, should anticipate rainstorms between 1:30 p.m. and 3:30 p.m.
So that was in April.
Yeah, that's right. It goes on to say residents.
Weather is related. So this morning, the Ghana Meteo bulletin I have, it reads, areas along the coast will be cloudy this morning with cases of rain and thunder. Brighter conditions will follow later. Late morning into afternoon, thunderstorms are anticipated for the northeastern parts. Let's speak to Joseph Potofi, Deputy Director of the Ghana Meteo Agency, the Ghana Meteo Service, in charge of forecasting. So, Mr. Potofi, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Let's start with Saturday night. I had one of the worst nights of in recent memory, with the level of thunder and lightning that accompanied the rains that came. Did the agency predict this, that it was going to happen this weekend?
Very well. Very well. When you look at what we discussed on the Friday, on our chat discussion, yes, we saw that there is a lot of convective activities in the eastern part of the country, especially in the Congo Basin. That was from Thursday. And when it happens like that, a lot of activities are developed, and then they moved westward. And when they move westward, definitely they will hit us. And that's what happened. And unfortunately for us too, during the day there was a lot of sunshine, so energy built up. And then the night, the system built up on the sea from 3 p.m. Then as it was moving on the sea, because we are having southwesterly winds, it also blew to the land, and that is what we experienced that night. And it was very, very, how would I call it, very worrisome, because there were a lot
intense.
of lightning.
It was very intense.
Yes, very intense, and because the system was also very huge, it stayed for a longer period. Because it was a night, it was a day, and we have a wind coming in. It just moved flash, and then it moved to the western side. But this one, because there was no wind in it, it stayed on us, and it rained in some areas over 6-7 hours.
I get it. So usually, if these things happen and there's wind accompanied, then it means it moves over a broader surface, so we don't feel the intensity for a long time. But because it was static, we felt the brunt of it for over 3 hours.
Very well.
But what causes the level of intensity of the thunder in particular? Because like buildings were shaking and things. Like what is going on? What causes that?
Yeah, because we have a lot of energy in the system that was built up, and as I said, because it was also it developed during the day, so a lot of energy has been developed already. So in the night, it will definitely blow on us.
Where does it get energy from? Is it like the winds? I mean, what gives it that energy to deliver such serious thunder and lightning?
Yes, when we have a deep convective activity, there is a low pressure, the very, very low pressure. The pressures were very, very low. So when the pressures are very, very low, we have a lot of moisture going up, and it bubble up. So there is a lot of, how do we call it, charged particles in the clouds that was built up. And those charged particles are what gives us the thundering activity when they are striking each other. When you have light particles striking each other, then it develops into the thunder. And once they strike, they develop into lightning. And that's what we saw.
So is the intensity of the thunder related to the dangerousness of the lightning? Because indeed, on Thursday, we had a number of lightning strikes that led to a minor fire here, right? So what's the relationship between the thunder and the lightning and the seriousness of the lightning?
Yeah, when the clouds developed, and you have very deep convection, and there are a lot of charged particles there. So those charged particles, when they are downdraft, they are coming down. They strike each other. So once they are striking each other, we have a lot of thunder. That's why we hear the thunder boom, 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 boom. And the charged particles which are creating.
Mr. Botofi, people say they
Yes.
don't understand this charge particle thing you are saying. If you can break it down, it's not, you see, not all of us went to school. Please, what is causing? So two things.
Yeah.
Basically, we know that evaporation of water leads to cloud formation, and
Yes.
then the clouds empty themselves back as rain. But
Yes.
the rain that is thundery and has lightning is a different type of rain. What
Yeah.
causes its intensity, right? That
Yes.
and we want to know this charge particle thing you are saying. We don't understand.
Yes, when the clouds are forming, we have positive and negative charges in them, right? We have, like I can say, we have positive charge at the top of the cloud. We have negative charge at below the cloud, right? And these charge particles are millions in nature within the cloud itself because they are rubbing each other. It's just like when you rub your comb with your hair. You have a bushy hair, you rub your comb with your hair. Anybody can try it now. You rub the comb with your hair, and then you put it on the paper. The comb will pick the paper. It's not magic. Because when you rub your comb into the hair, it has discharged some particles onto the comb. And those particles, when you touch it on the how do you call it, the paper, it will quickly pick the paper. So when you are rubbing, maybe you are rubbing and then the charge particles are negative and the paper there is positive. So when the light pulse will just definitely attract each other. So when the clouds are being formed, these charge particles are developed inside. Now once they are rubbing each other, you have negative, you have positive, positive and negative, they are rubbing each other, they develop the lightning. So when they develop the lightning, then the striking, the rubbing each other also develop what you call the thunder. It's just like when you rub a cutlass on the floor, you see lightning and then you see some noise. When you rub a cutlass, somebody wants to frighten people with a cutlass. You just rub the cutlass on the floor. Then you see lightning under the cutlass. And then because that lightning is there are charged particles. It develops some charged particles. And that is why we normally use arresters. So that at least when those charged particles are coming, the positive one, the moment it gets to the charge arrestor on top of the building, it's able to arrest it and then move it into the soil. Then there is no problem. But when you don't have anything, you don't have a charge arrestor, then those charged particles will pass through whatever you have. And then if you have equipment, it will destroy them. That is why it is not advisable to stay under long trees or under the trees when it is raining. Because when the thunder strikes, yes, it will pass through the tree. And when you're under there, because already maybe you are wearing some slippers, the charged particles cannot pass through you as a human being. So it will kill you instantly. So it is very dangerous when it is raining and you are walking on it. It is very, very dangerous.
So sorry, what are the precautions we should take? One, when we are outside, and two, when we are indoors, when this thunder and lightning is striking. What's the safest thing to do within these two when these two things are happening?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the building code requires that when any house you build, there should be, when it is tall to a certain level, there should be charge arrestor on it. You see all buildings, there are some pointed metal. That pointed metal is wired through a copper into the soil. And at times when we do it, we just put salt or charcoal in the soil, then we bury the earth wire. So that when the lightning comes, the lightning will go to the pointed source, the highest pointed source. So it will arrest it. So in buildings, yes, those things are there already. But we human beings, when we are walking and it's coming to rain and there is lightning and thunder, we should avoid tall buildings, we should avoid tall trees and anything that can expose you. If you shouldn't be carrying metal things, it's very dangerous. Because for the metal things, it's very good conductor of electricity to charge particles. So once you are carrying it, when it strikes and the charge particles falls on it, it will quickly pass through you like you touch a unworking fridge, which will give you a shock. So we should avoid all those things, and then I think we'll be fine.
So that's indoors and outdoors. So how come sometimes people you hear that somebody is in a pickup and then there's lightning and the lightning strikes the people in the open buckets of the pickup and they die? Is it because they're in the open space?
Very well, they're in the open space. Once they're in the open space and the lightning falls on that line, definitely it will strike them. But when they are in the car, yes, the car itself will take the charged particles. You see, and because it's also on a tie, it will pass it through the tie, which is a non-conductor, and then you'll be safe. But when you are outside the bucket, then it means you have exposed yourself. And we human beings, we are conductors of those charged particles. So once it passes through you, there is no way it can come out. It will kill you instantly.
All right. Looking forward, how many more days of such serious lightning and thundering rain should we expect? Have we seen the worst, or is there more to come?
Yeah, more to come, because we are not we've not got to June yet. And when we look at the lightning data, June is the peak of the lightning. When we get to July, we'll not be getting lightning. July and then August, thereabout, we'll not be getting any lightning much. Especially along the coast and then the middle belt. But the northern part of the country, yes, from June, July, August, they'll still be getting a lot of lightning and thundering activities. But for us in the coast here, it's not yet over. It's not yet over at all.
So we should brace ourselves for more rains of the torrential type.
Very, very well. Very, very well. This morning, yes, there is a system over there, which will definitely affect some coastal towns and then it's the virus. And then in the afternoon, high grounds and then the mountainous areas will also have some lightning and activity. You know, when the sun shines like this, it gives a lot of energy. And as I said, when you have a low pressure, it means the moisture will rise into that low pressure and then forms the clouds. And once it forms the clouds and the energy, what you call the convective potential energy, the keep is inside, and it develops to a certain level, then you have a lot of lightning and thunder activity.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Potofi, Deputy Director of Forecasting, Ghana Meteo Service. It's a serious matter, guys. It's a serious issue.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the rains are causing a lot of trepidation in the system, and he says we should expect a lot more of this. He used the word surge arrestor, and I think those who have high-rise buildings need to get arresters on their buildings and also connected to their meters, so that it will affect the surges from damaging the equipment in your house.